All right, so we've made it up here to Shi Keng tin pools up here, and it wasn't easy. I fell over once in the river and had a bit of a time clearing the water out, but it was worth it, I think.
This is one of the hardest riverbeds you'll encounter in Taiwan. Line choice is so important. I realized too late that this wheel track had a huge rock. The skid plate was sitting on the rock, so I pulled the bike back and tried again. I learned from my first time doing this ride that fatigue is your biggest enemy, so you rest in the opening sections. The big challenge is the deep, fast-moving river crossings with large rocks. My line was actually to the right, with the current pulled me down so that I had no choice but to send the front over this rock. The skid plate was resting on the rock, so rather than dig a hole with my rear tire, I moved it to the side to a better place and tried again. You can see how fast the river flows through here. Sometimes just taking a moment and being aware of your rear tire placement can save a lot of energy. These rocky sections are really fatiguing, and I learned from last time that the key is to pick a good line and stand on the pegs as much as possible. When you sit, you burn a lot more energy in your arms, and you end up slipping the clutch a lot more, which tires out your clutch head. When you stand, you can maintain momentum a lot better, and you can shift your weight forward and from side to side, rather than pulling on the bars so much. When you have trouble, just reset and try to get on the pegs as soon as possible. Whenever possible, choose the high line because it's much easier to go down than up. These rocks are bigger than they look, and maintaining momentum is hard.
You want to rest?
All right.
I'm also fine to go.
Better to rest a bit. It is indeed hard work.
Huh?
The good section of that way, you just can't get going.
Yeah.
There's always one rock in the way.
Yeah.
This is the hardest and scariest river crossing, and the only one I got off and walked beside the bike. It's basically on a waterfall, and it's deep and the rocks are big under the water. The water is so high on the bike it's sputtering and doesn't want to run, so I have to keep the revs up. This is actually going back down because I wasn't running my camera on the way. This river crossing looked easy, and it was about 2 meters to the left. My line choice was a bit off, and my front tire ran over a big rock that I couldn't see.
Ah! Careful. There's water in it. Got to push it. You have to pull the clutch. Okay. Sorry.
That's all right.
I knew the airbox went under the water, and so it was going to be a lot of work. I didn't film clearing the water, but it didn't go according to plan. but we got it in there. You can see here my technique of standing as much as possible and just dabbing where necessary. It's the most efficient way to do these rocks. We stopped for a minute and realized we were only 100 meters or so from the hot spring. The whole place looked completely different from last time. The river was in a totally different place.
All right, so we've made it up here to Shi Keng tin pools, but it's very, very different from last time we came before the rains. Before it was a tent city, and now there's no one.
Veyhan took the line straight up the side, which I was a little skeptical of because of how slick it looked, but he went right to the side where it was clear. I picked the more traveled section where the 4x4s climb.
And now there's no one. We have it to ourselves. It's amazing. Maybe that's because it's election day and everybody's casting their vote or something. We saw some campers at the beginning, Shi Keng or whatever it is, the first one, and we have not seen any hikers. It's all to ourselves. So it's beautiful, gorgeous hot springs, and we will see if we can make it back with little drama.
This Toyota in the lead looks to be on 40s. All of them are kitted out rigs. I can only imagine highly modified trucks getting up here.
Nice Jeep.
Here my front tire hit a rock wrong and I almost dropped it. Only a quick dab saved me, and it made me question standing up in river crossings again. Sometimes it seems like sitting gives you a better chance of saving it. This last/first river crossing is not easy at all, swift and deep. We went down to the bridge at Bao Lai and then headed up to Shi Dong hot spring. The bottom part has wide open expanses and the XR650R just eats and took off and left me.
Okay, that was the end of the flat sandy section.
Yeah.
Act like you have some destination. This one, Shi Dong.
Yeah.
So from here to the other one, I'm not quite sure, but I don't see a lot of smooth.
Smooth.
Like in the beginning, it was smooth.
Yeah.
This is like
It's getting rougher.
The crossings get harder further up, and we were glad to make it to the hot spring when we did. At that point, we decided to go back and call it a day. It was a good day in the riverbeds.